Alright. I'm all pumped up because this is something huge. This is something that I've been yearning for so long. This is Anand Pandey from BBC Top Gun Mag India, and we are about to set off on an expedition. Let me clue you in. We are riding the Suzuki V-StromSX for 5,000 kilometers, and it is going to span for around 15 days. So we are going to cover around 400 to 500 kilometers in a day. So it is going to be a grueling affair for both the man and the machine. So along this ride, we are going to showcase 7 wonders of India. I mean, what better way to celebrate India's Independence Day than to set off on an independence ride? And I believe that it is going to be a perfect companion for this beast of a journey. I mean, it was purposely built for just one thing, to munch miles while keeping the rider cocooned in its luxury. And during the first leg, we'll be hitting the roads and setting off to Amritsar to witness the surreal Golden Temple. It is around 500 kilometers from where we are right now, so it is going to roughly take around 10 to 12 hours of riding. I believe it's going to be a very smooth affair. Blessing us with his presence is none other than Mr. Devashish Handa, who is the Executive Vice President of Suzuki Two-Wheelers India, Sales, Marketing and After Sales. Sir, we need all your good wishes to accomplish this beast of a journey.
Thank you so much for this collaboration. Our best wishes are always with you.
Thank you, sir.
Wishing you a great ride. Have a nice time.
Thank you, sir. Since this was the first jaunt during our independence ride with the Suzuki V-StromSX, the spirits were high and the roads were good. As soon as we reached the premises of the Golden Temple, we could feel the tranquility in the air. What better way to kick off the ride than to take the blessings at the Golden Temple itself? So I rode for around 500 kilometers in around 11 hours to reach here. But man, Aero State highways and a capable tourer underneath me, it was a pretty smooth affair. Now it is time to head inside. So the Golden Temple is believed to be the most significant shrine in Sikhism. It was destroyed by foreign invaders multiple times, but here it is, standing tall in all its glory. So we have taken the blessings and we are off to Agra now to check off Taj Mahal off our list. The route towards Agra from Golden Temple also included riding on the Yamuna Expressway, where the V-StromSX really came into its own. It crunched miles for all the 3 courses of the meal. The overall aerodynamics and the highly functional windscreen shielded me from the wind blast. So it was a long stretch of almost 700 kilometers from Amritsar to reach the second wonder of our list, the Taj Mahal. It took us around 13 hours of spirited riding to reach here, but looking at this majestic view, I'll say it was all worth it. And the only reason, the primary reason why I'm still able to talk to you and not physically dead on my bed is because of the Suzuki V-StromSX. With each passing day, this motorcycle is proving itself again and again to be how amazing a tourer it is. It is now time to explore Taj Mahal up and close. The Taj Mahal was commissioned by Shah Jahan to house the tomb of his beloved wife Mumtaz. And guess what? It is also home to the tomb of Shah Jahan himself. Also renowned as the symbol of love, the one thing which is very prominently noticeable about the Taj Mahal is its symmetry. Quran verses are neatly engraved on the Taj Mahal, while there are beautiful carvings on the walls with semi-precious stones. Since most of the time we were the only ones on the newly constructed highways, the symphony produced by the dual exit muffler provided the perfect background score and kept me engaged. This was also one of the roads where we could stretch the legs of the Suzuki V-StromSX. And guess what? This Japanese marvel didn't disappoint at all. The third leg of our journey has brought us to Khajurao. It is around 500 kilometers from Agra and it took us around 9 hours of spirited riding to reach here. And the highways that we encountered on our way were no less than amazing, especially the newly constructed Bundelkhand Expressway. And let me tell you, it was as smooth as some guys trying to slide into your DMs, with the V-Strom covering the distance like it is no big deal. I personally had to battle some excruciating stomach pain, but the VStromSX kept me engaged, kept me distracted from the pain with its able handling and grunty engine. The engravings on the Khajurao temples also showcase the lifestyle of that ancient era. It didn't take long for us to realize that why the Khajurao campus has garnered the status of a World Heritage Site. Talking about Khajurao, it is one of the most popular tourist destinations in India. I mean, it was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site back in 1986, and it is particularly famous for magnificent Hindu and Jain temples, which are renowned for their architecture and erotic sculptures. I mean, we let it bless the world with Kama Sutra, so it only makes sense that it runs deep in our culture, and I for one cannot really wait to get back to my home and get connected to my culture again. The temple that you see behind me is known as the Lakshman Temple, and it is renowned to be one of the most prominent temples in Khajurao because it is the only temple in Khajurao which is dedicated to a king. We are currently in western zone of Khajurao campus, so it is time now to explore a bit. Alright guys, so we have wrapped up our shoot from Khajurao. We wanted to explore the city a little more. But since we have a lot of time constraints on our hand, we have to leave for Nalanda right now to check off the fourth wonder of our list. It is going to be a very hectic ride because Nalanda is around 700 kilometers from here and it is going to take us around 14 to 15 hours of riding to reach Nalanda. The V-Strom is all ready, I am all ready, so we'll see you off in Nalanda now. The stretch from Khajurao to Nalanda included some narrow roads amidst the lush green forest. The agility and the super quick response from the front end of the VStromSX made that route a lot more enjoyable. So when we left from Khajurao, we took the worst route imaginable to Varanasi. And that included a lot of unpredictable elements on the road. But the comfortable ergonomics of the VStromSX made that jaunt a bit bearable. And the one aspect where the V-Strom shone like a starlight was the potent braking system, because the dual channel ABS combined with the bite and the overall feedback made sure it ensured that I was safe and sound all throughout that treacherous lag. Personally speaking, I was really looking forward to visiting Nalanda University because it holds a very special place in Indian history. Constructed during the 5th century, it is considered to be the world's first residential university. And the rooms that we see on our right hand side used to be the hostels where the students used to stay. This university played a pivotal role in promoting arts and academics back in 5th and 6th century CE. And that is also considered to be the golden age of India by scholars. But later in the 13th century, this world-class university was burned to the ground. It was ransacked by Bakhtiyar Khilji. It is currently in a ruined state right now, but you know what? It was buried underneath the ground for almost 1600 years. It was excavated later on in the 20th century. As a fellow Indian, I can proudly say that if this university wasn't demolished the way it was, its popularity and prominence would have even surpassed the Oxford and Harvard universities of the Western world. When we left from Nalanda to Konark, we were greeted with a mixed bag of roads, which included some unpaved stretches as well. When the bad roads knocked at our doors, the mammoth's ground clearance of 205mm really came into play. Even the suspension setup managed to soak all the bumps really well. And then came the twisty roads with good tarmac. During the lovely cornering sessions, the feedback from the front end made me push the VStromSX, and it didn't disappoint at all. It was now time to give the VStromSX a thorough wash because the unpaved roads, the dust and the grime was taking a toll on its beautiful persona. After a deep cleaning session, the signature champion yellow shade of the VStromSX started shining brighter than the golden light of the sun itself. The thing which I was sort of afraid about finally happened when we left from Nalanda to reach Konark. Torrential rains. The monsoons have finally breached middle India and the eastern coast where we are right now. The roads have become a lot slippery than before with no traction at all. But the tires that the VStromSX comes equipped with have surpassed all my expectations. I mean, they might be dual purpose tires, but not on one instance did I ever experience a hair-raising encounter. And that is saying something for a tourer. It is now time to explore this marvelous wonder that is the Kona Sun Temple. The Kona Sun Temple was built in the 13th century by King Narasimha and is dedicated to the Hindu sun god Surya. Now what has remained of this temple is a 100-foot structure that is built on a chariot with immense wheels and horses. Now it is believed that a huge magnet was placed right on top of the temple which used to attract ships to the Konark coast. Now it is also believed that the original temple used to be double the height of what you see behind me. The Kona Sun Temple is a sublime example of Kalingan architecture, and the carvings that we have witnessed on the temple includes everything ranging from warfare to erotic sculptures and the lifestyle of the bygone era. Hampi, an ancient city that is yet another example of India's engineering and architecture prowess. In the 14th century, this used to be the capital of Vijayanagara Empire. Texts left by many foreign travelers mention that at that point of time, this used to be one of the wealthiest cities in the entire world and not in India itself. In fact, that is the primary reason why it was looted and destroyed by foreign invaders. Although Hampi is dotted by a lot of monuments and a lot of ruins, the temple where we are right now, the Vijay Vitthal Temple, is the most prominent one. It is surrounded by scenic mountains all around and is dedicated to the Hindu god Vishnu. Since Hampi was also home to Bali and Sugriv, one can find important incidents of Ramayana neatly engraved in the walls of the temple. Another tiring lag has been done and dusted as we have reached Hampi after covering almost 1400 kilometers from Konark. And when you are riding 1000 kilometers in a day, the rider's triangle plays a vital role in making sure that the rider stays comfortable throughout that treacherous lag. And I'm so glad that the VStromSX was my companion throughout this lag, because the rider's triangle of the VStromSX is super comfortable. Since I've been riding for the past 12 to 13 days, I was feeling a little exhausted before reaching Hampi. But as you can very well see, the roads here are narrow and super scenic as there are big mountains surrounding all over the roads and the lush green forests are there to keep you company all throughout that lag. So far we have ridden close to 5000 kilometers and needless to say, I'm craving for some exquisite luxury and pampering. And that is the exact reason why I have landed at Evolvac Hampi. Let me just put one thing straight. Huge skyscraping monuments in the modern world are sort of mainstream now. But the Gomteshwar statue in Karkala, it was erected almost 600 years back. This 42-foot statue of Bahubali is carved out of just one stone. And talking about Bahubali, he is a revered figure in Jainism, and it is believed that he was motionless for a year meditating in the Himalayas, and this is the reason why climbing plants grew around his legs that you can very well see on this statue which is erected right behind me. And if these facts aren't enough to baffle your mind, get this. This statue is visible from as far as 30 kilometers away from where we are right now. When I received a confirmation call regarding this ride, I was already riding in some of the most toughest terrains of the Himalayas. So I was a little skeptical about myself that whether I'll be able to ride 5,000 kilometers or not. But what I was not skeptical about was the motorcycle, because I knew that the Suzuki V-StromSX is one such motorcycle that would ace this test. And with not even a minor breakdown on such a monstrous journey, the Suzuki V-StromSX has proved itself to be a trustworthy companion. I've learned so much about India's glorious past during this independence ride, and now I know the reason why India was renowned to be the guru of the entire world. I bow down my head to this beautiful country and all the wonders that it has blessed the world with. We hope that you like this video, and we know that there are a lot many wonders that India has to offer, but it is time to bid goodbye. This is Anand Pandey with the Suzuki V-StromSX signing off.